It's like Rafiki from The Lion King used to say, "The king has returned." Hey movie fans, so I just saw Halloween, the David Gordon Green directed 2018 incarnation of the beloved, well, mostly beloved Halloween franchise. I was going into this film very excited yet apprehensive. Well, anything is better than the last Halloween movie we got.
Michael, for God in heaven, die!
Oh boy, thanks Rob Zombie. So I was very excited for this Halloween movie, and my overall thoughts were, holy crap, I want more now, please. Yes, please. This movie was exactly what it needed to be. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of issues with this movie, but there's a lot of issues with any Halloween movie. But thankfully, this gathers the spirit of almost all the Halloween movies previously, and I mean all of them. There's a little bit of everything from the previous generation Halloween movies, even including the zombie in this version of Halloween, and it works really, really well. So let's kick off some of the positives. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode steals the show in this movie. She is fantastic. Well, actually, the whole Strode family is amazing in this. So we follow more or less Laurie as per usual because it's a Halloween movie. Her daughter, played by Judy Greer, and her granddaughter named Allison. All three of them are excellent. It really asks the question of, if this were to happen in real life, what would be the emotional trauma that someone would feel and experience all these years after that traumatic effect? And so we kind of look through the lens of, well, what happened to Laurie 40 years later? How has it affected her family? And it has definitely affected how she interacts with her family. But oh boy, when Michael comes, he comes knocking, and he doesn't knock gently. He literally knocks down doors, but not in like a Halloween 5 Kool-Aid Man type of knockdown doors. He uses other people to knock down doors for him. This movie was way more brutal and bloody than I had any expectation for it to be. I thought that Rob Zombie Halloween movies were going to be the bloodiest and most gruesome Halloween movies we'd ever get. I think these top it, actually. However, it's not gory for the sake of gory. It's showing the brutality and the evilness of Michael Myers. He is a force to be reckoned with, and a terrifying one at that. It has been many years since I've been afraid of Michael Myers, if ever. Michael Myers, to me, in the Halloween films, are almost a certain level of comfort up until this point of, I love all the Halloween films. They make me happy because I have fond memories associated with them. Check out our most recent Uncharted Media podcast, and Josh and I go all into that, our backstory with the Halloween franchise. But I have an emotional attachment to Halloween. I never thought I'd be scared of Michael again. I'm terrified of him in this movie. He is a monster. There's so much good about this. The soundtrack, John Carpenter, the director of the original Halloween, came back to do the music for this. It is so spot on. It is wonderful. I was listening to the soundtrack for a couple days before this, and I was kind of guessing where things would go. Not all of my guesses were right, but the music itself, like the film itself, is a perfect blend of almost all the Halloween films gathered together into one movie. There's elements from 1, there's 2, a little bit of 4 and 5 in there, a little bit H2O. However, for those worried that this is just going to be a repeat of H2O with a little bit of the original Halloween, actually there's not as much H2O elements in this as I was expecting, and honestly, I'm very much okay with that. H2O is fine for what it is. I didn't need another one. This is its own thing. It's a combination of all the Halloween movies. This is clearly written by fans. There's a lot of knowing references and homages to other Halloween films that, if you are a diehard fan of the series like I am, it pays off incredibly well. There's a lot of moments of winks and nods to the loyal fans, but it doesn't alienate newcomers that are new to this Halloween franchise. It's still an excellent horror movie, even if you haven't seen any of the other movies. I heard the comparison going into this movie that it was more or less the Force Awakens of horror, and I completely agree. This Force Awakens echoed a lot of the same story beats that A New Hope did. This echoes a lot of the same story beats as the original Halloween, but in a new, fresh spin that is brutal yet entertaining. There's characters you can actually engage with and care about. I'm not saying they're perfect character representations, but they're characters that if they do die, you feel bad if they do. There's some genuinely likable characters, and this might be just because I recently watched the zombie ones, and those do not have likable characters. They're fun and engaging characters that you feel bad when things brutally, and I mean very brutally, happen to them. However, this movie isn't perfect. It has a couple issues. There's one in particular, without dipping into spoilers, there's a certain character that serves zero purpose whatsoever, and they try and do a plot twist with said character, and it falls so flat. It really is literally just a awkward 5 to 10 minute sidetrack that has no bearing on the story whatsoever, and it was kind of annoying. Yeah, I'm still trying to piece together why it was in the film to begin with. That being said, as a whole, this movie was exactly what I, as a Halloween fan, wanted. It was better than my high expectations were already setting for it. I want to see this movie again and again to try and pick up some of the little Easter eggs. The cinematography felt just like the cinematography from the original, with some long shots, some visual callbacks to previous films, which was fantastic. This is a great love letter to the Halloween franchise, but it doesn't forget to be a darn good horror film. There are tense moments, there's some moments with no sound whatsoever, and it puts you on the edge of your seat. It's just a well-crafted horror film. I'm so glad I saw it. I think even if it wasn't a Halloween movie, it would still be excellent and I would still love it, but having a built-in fan base made me appreciate it more. However, if you're not a Halloween fan going into it, but you love horror, absolutely check this one out. This is fantastic. I will give David Gordon Green's Halloween an 8.5 out of 10. It is not perfect. We have some characters that are kind of annoying / don't serve a purpose, but by and large, there's so many callbacks to the original. It's a great time. It's a great horror movie in general. If you have any thoughts or reservations about seeing, throw them out the window. See this movie. It is amazing. Well, what do you guys think about the new Halloween movie? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Uncharted Media. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.